you looking for answers about extraterrestrials or maybe the true meaning of life? Then you have come to the right place. Welcome to the Ivan Teller online broadcast. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel. And for more details, please visit ivanteller.com and learn more about your galactic families.
Greetings all. Tonight is this is from Yeshua. This has been something he wants to broadcast for a while now, so it's about toxic relationships, but on an alien level, meaning that people born here are connected to Palladian, Syrian, reptilian, etc. And when you're in a relationship that's not very good, some of your reactions come from those different races. Obviously, they're the positive ones. It's usually a more positive transition, but sometimes you're with someone that's super negative in a gang or whatever, that you're getting a lot of their other lifetimes, obviously. And different races act different ways. Well, let's see what happens, what he says. It might not be it, but a toxic relationship seems to be one way of mentioning it. But not truly, it's not all about that. It's also about the positive also. But it seems like that's the best way. That seems to be the best way of titling this. Let's put that. See how it goes. So blessings all, and we'll see what goes on. See what Yeshua has to say. Yes, I have my background noise. Yes. So, thank you. Whoever's riding on that bike, I don't know if you can hear it, but he's just all over town, going 90 miles an hour in a 30-mile-an-hour lane. That's nice. This is quite common on your planet. Confusion. Confusion of one's reality, confusing it with someone else's. I am Joshua. Joshua, blessings to all. Jesus, whatever name that suits you best. Many of you are connected, or all of you are connected to different alien races. But also, sometimes not all relationships are song and dance, are they? Many of you that are in relationships with reptilian energies, will start there, of the negative form. You realize that some do become obsessed over a certain loved one that is very reptilian-like in a negative form. Or that reptilian becomes obsessed over you, vice versa. And that becomes very toxic, very unhealthy. And how to release from this is not easy because you go through a trance. You are under a spell by you can call it negative draconian. And to break of this is, if you wish to do so, you will. But if you wish not to and still want to hold connections, you will be there forever. And take down everyone else around you also if you do have friends after that. So you have the power to do so. The reptilian energy is the most powerful here. As for relationship crumblings, of diversity, of how I word this, manipulation and control of one upon a lover of sorts. And to break out of that manipulation and control is up to you, and you can do so. But yes, ramifications are negative usually, but you can still do so if you allow yourself to do so. If not, you'll be there forever. But also, those of the Syrians have the same situation, where you're in a toxic relationship, where one becomes obsessed over the other. Obsession is so Syrian, where it becomes out of control. This obsession can lead to violence. And this can be, even after a relationship, obsessions still continue to do so. It can wreck others around you. And how to release from this? This is something you must overcome. If you're the one obsessing, you can break this if you wish to do so, but you must do prayer and meditation to break your one and want to do it, obviously. But in this situation when someone else is connected with you, will not let you go, is very Syrian, because in this reality it is obsession is, it's more fire here than other earths, other worlds for that matter, and other earths. So this also can be toxic, can go into your bloodstream and poison you. To release from this is for prayer and for guidance from your guides, and to remove yourself from this situation. But how to avoid an obsessive is to different ways. But one is to connect to that one's guides and to forgive them and forgive the person, to release them. But of course, you also have your proper authorities to assist you with this, because Syrians can be very, very obsessive. Reptilian also, but it's more keen with Syrian. Now, if you have Syrian and Reptilian, that's where it becomes even more complicated, now doesn't it? That is not a very good match, but it does happen. Palladian, also in a toxic relationship. This is at least a little bit more subdued, but even there is sometimes a love connection that will never let go, ever. That will even lead to death. Sometimes, not always. But there are cases. But a gentle death, sometimes a death of obsession to some degree, but not a obsession of negativity. There's more of a not willing to let go, but also to just reunite. And this death is, it all depends. Everyone's different that's through these situations. There are situations where one refuses to let go, no matter if they have children, and to wish to reunite with their soul loved one, no matter what. And that can be reptilian too, but this is usually on a mutual soul agreement. There's just different layers of this, different pieces there. It is like, it's a romance, but yes, it has to do with children, that is true, but usually these children are of a well taken care of, well in a place where they will be looked after. That is the Pleiadian way. It is just different, but that's not necessarily a toxic relationship. That is just a bond where one cannot live without the other. And that is very Pleiadian, where you interlock souls. But also, reptilian is done the same way, but in a more violent way, a more negative way. Usually, even sometimes in positive. Usually, the more positive reptilian connections, more positive, is more move on, live your day. I will see you on the other side when you are ready. That is normal reptilian relationship for the most part, for a positive. Negative is more controlling and violent. Reptilian is usually the most violent, but not always. Syrian follows that. Pleiadian to a certain extent, but more Syrian and reptilian are very similar in these violent relationships. As I said, with Pleiadian is more of a kindness there. Realize the Pleiadian energy is what keeps many together. Also, yes, human, but Pleiadian mixed with human becomes emotional time bomb to some degree with reptilian and Syrian. But with Pleiadian, it is a little bit different there, where it is more of a softer touch. Where yes, you might be madly in love with each other. One either exits earlier than you would hope, but still you have this emotional attachment. And this attachment can lead to death, but also can go into your resurrection, meaning that you will renew your life and continue on with this person still connected to you in spirit. That is very Pleiadian. Now, not to say that even with Syrian, yes, you mentioned a lot of negativity there, but even that, with a more positive connection with the Syrian energy, is much of it independent. Many Syrians feel like they do not need love, but those that do enter into a love relationship, sometimes it can become very toxic, but other times it become very strong, where you do not even care for each other anymore, you still continue that. That is very Syrian. That is very, it's like we're doing this for the children, not necessarily for each other. That is very Syrian. There's energies here that are in the way. One moment. One moment. There is much here that does not want this information out. It feels, what is it that they want? It feels that it will intervene with this Earth's many species that wants just to be known. One moment. That is fine. With the Syrians, though, it becomes very controversial. That is why it's being spoken about. That is why it's a little pullback is here because of that. But that is fine. Because with Syrians, it is quite complicated. It can be very Pleiadian-like, but it can also be very reptilian-like in the negative sort. With Pleiadian, there is somewhat a negative sort, but most of the part with Pleiadian energies is mostly in a positive area of Pleiadian. You will make it work somehow. If not, depart without any hard feelings. With Syrian, many of you do have Syrian and Pleiadian. You can bring these different energies into your space. Obviously, with knowing and without knowing it. Much of the violence is more reptilian and Syrian, but not always Syrian. Not always Pleiadian. I mean, reptilian. But reptilian is mostly known around violence. But as I said, not always. With Andromedan is always a procreation of many children, usually. As for toxicness, not necessarily. With one moment. As I said before, there's interference here. One moment. Jeez. Go to the light, please. You're not needed here. Andromeda energies. Yes, sacred information is not too keen to some of these entities that are mostly reptilian, are not enjoying this communication at all. Because the negative reptilians are realizing you are knowing their secrets of how, not necessarily putting them in the bad light, but putting knowledge into how reaction is within the human race. Why certain ones act certain ways. Certain vibrations is activated, especially reptilian. For the most part, innate violence is very reptilian. A positive reptilian will not act like this at this time. Because they do not act like this. It is more the negative. And the negative, realize once you understand this, you will diffuse this yourself, because you can. You can bring in more of an angelic energy into your body when you do feel times of violence and anger. Andromeda can be brought into your system. Pleiadian, even Syrian. Syrian can also diffuse negative. Blessings to you all. Yes, you can talk all you want. That is your problem. Your race is being healed. Yes. Yes, you do not want these energies known. But much of the violence is reptilian, but not all. It is never all. Even some Arcturian starseeds here, during relationship areas where they are trying to connect mentally, but not always physically, and that become a mental battle, and that's very Arcturian. Even those that say there's no negative Arcturians, that is a false. There are negative. They just not, the Arcturians not like to acknowledge that, but it does fully exist. Just like negative and positive exists within everything, which is a positive for humanity and the galactic federations. Yes. Obviously, one moment. Yes. One thing the reptilians, the negative ones, the draconians, do not like to be seen in a negative light. But yet, when they do negative things, they do not like for humanity to repair itself when it goes into a dark place. They do not want humanity to repair itself. They want it to stay in a dark place where it stays at a lower vibration. And these are the tools to break out of these low vibrations, is to bring more of an angelic. You can use Yeshua energy, whatever it can. When you feel times of violence, to bring in more positive energy into your field, to walk away from times of violence where you feel like to go into rage mode, to go into a out of place mode where you're not no longer yourself, a possession mode, because reptilian energies, the negative, does unite you into a more possessive reptilian. You become not yourself. You become someone else. You realize this. This is in your news quite often, where some just lose their minds and turn into someone else. That's actually very Syrian and very reptilian. There is much interference here because they do not want you to know how they operate on your planet. But how to heal your world is to acknowledge the problem and to bring healing energies to it. Not to band-aid it, but to heal it from the within. So it all be healed on the outside and within, where your heart and your soul can connect. Instead of connecting to only rage, you will connect to only light. So when you go into these times of possession, Realize that is not to you. But we realize when you're in a time of rage, how can you understand this? It is hard to control oneself during these time periods. When children are around through finances, these are the devices the negative entities use to keep you in place. Well, it's time to find you and reverse the negative so you be more positive within yourself and those around you so you can have more of a positive reaction. Those of the dark, or you can say the ones that do not agree with this information being told to you. It is okay. Let them bark all they want. They are going through a healing process too. They are changing along with you. This is heard before, hasn't it? Has it? Yes, it has. As you ascend, they ascend. And sometimes with them ascending of a lower vibration, it hurts becoming more of a friendly being. It is against their wisdom and judgment. But that's what it's all about. It's to bring love into your life, no matter who you are, race, alien, whichever. Is to bring love into your life. And where violence is provoked, you do not have to act upon it. When you feel violence within yourself, realize it's not just your human DNA that is becoming active, which also most of it is reptilian, negative reptilian, where they like to put a spell on you and control you. You can uncontrol yourself, where you can have control over yourself, where an entity cannot rule you. Because it's very well known that many, not all, but many reptilians, obviously, like to rule humanity, possess you. It's time to possess yourself and release them. It is easy to do. You just have to put this positive intention, bring in the angels to surround you with white light, and ask for guidance to how to exit this possession process. It can be done if you want it. It does take time depending on how deep you are within the darkness, but anything can be go into the light always. Sometimes going into the light is not easy, but it can be accomplished. And understand this communication here is assisting you to bring in more light into your life. And they can say whatever they want. Because they, along with you, are growing into a new horizon of thinking and seeing. And they understand the more positive on your planet, the more they are becoming more outsiders than insiders. Those running your black projects are becoming more outsiders than insiders, meaning you are seeing everything instead of seeing only a little because of your intentions, and not necessarily just knowing about your world, but bringing a positive energy into it also, without any violence, without any anger. Just a positive vortex of light. Is to have a neutral friendship with any entity, negative or positive. We can all unite together. And in doing this, brings in the shadow elites into the light, which they do not want to be in. This is why this is happening right now, of a force of discomfort. But that is too bad now, isn't it? But you're not being judged. It's hard to walk out of what you are used to, which is dark, at least for them. But they will realize the shackles that are holding them down. It would be more of a beneficial for them because their health is not doing also hot, is it? It is not. Because the negativity, because their belief systems, just like yours on your planet, has poisoned the soul. And you think these reptilians do not care for humanity. their souls have been poisoned too. Not to be judgmental, not at all. But we send you love. Healing love of light to bring you and humanity into a closer connection to each other, where you understand each other no matter the differences. Toxic relationships is common across this world and the galaxies. But for you to accept all races and races of color on your planet, but also galactic races, is saying much. The more you bring in this, the more you can all connect to each other. We do feel that this communication, as the forces of black or dark shadow forces disagree with this communication, wish not for their secrets to be known throughout your society. We do feel a threshold has been crossed, meaning that their secrets are now being known to a certain degree, enough where it can open up the soul to release the dark and bring in the light. Understand, you can do whatever you wish. If you wish dark, that is fine, that is up to you. But also recognize when one wants to bring in light, do not control them, because many do, of the dark, wish to make sure that they have their intentions, like control over those of the light that wish to bring light to more positive energies, more health into their positive health into their life. And many of the dark wish to control that and keep you in the sick age of not knowing you and being just unfulfilled for your whole existence. But much of the violence on your planet, not all, but a lot of it has to do with reptilian, negative reptilian influence. The positive reptilians can be brought in to assist you in bringing a more positive light into your existence. The positive reptilians are what the negative one you know nothing about. And you can ask for their assistance also. The positive reptilian is very Pleiadian, very similar in some degree, but also can diffuse the negative reptilian vibration to bring in more positive energy. But be careful that you're connecting to the right positive energy, because sometimes some negative reptilians just pose as positive. But you would understand, you will be able to pick this up right away. If you feel any negativity around any entity that you're trying to connect with, that is a false entity. This is how you grow. And sometimes you have to go into areas that others will not go into to heal, to bring up certain subject matters to heal. You all deserve healing. It is time. How is you going to move into a higher vibration? Is to get to know each another on this plane and also on the galactic plane. It is much needed. All this is much needed to bring everyone together on the same level. That's how you heal. That's how you go into a fourth, fifth density level. And to get there, the dark must be brought into the light. At least understood in educational form. Also, no judgment on dark. Please do not put judgment on them. Love, yes. Judgment, no. Because this is their journey, not yours. But also, they do not like having light brought into their energy field. But you must protect yourself. Do not let them influence you, because they will try to do this. Blessings to you all. Your discomfort has been acknowledged, but we send you love and blessings and forgiveness for your sins. Because there are many sins there, and much karma that has to be, many lifetimes have to be repaired Future lifetimes will repair the damage has been done by these negative entities. And they are well aware they do not care. But they will be brought into the light eventually. But their karma most likely will keep them into the dark for a long time, because that is their choosing. Because the light is something they wish not to be a part of. So they will go through the pain of karma instead of going and changing direction, which is fine. But this should not be any reason to force you into darkness. If you want to be part of the light, it is time to embrace it, to understand it. Relationships between man, woman, however, same genders, whatever it is. During a time of darkness, during those relationships, many things are said that should not be said, but sometimes need to be vented out no matter what, just to be hurtful, etc. That is fine, but realize to heal from these situations is simple. Through negative reptilian energies is known as possession. Like a vampire possessing one. Also, like you hear of your Ted Bundys, your serial killers, much reptilian energy, not all, but a lot, is negative reptilian, is associated with this type of dark energy. And you can reverse this and heal yourself and escape it. If you wish, if your positive intentions is to escape it, you will find a way. And send love to that one that is of obsessive, compulsive, dark territory. That is up to you. To release them and to move on. Even if they persist, there are ways of doing this. But acknowledge that, yes, there is a vampire. That's why they call them Dracos, for a reason. Vampire energy can be released where you can heal. The angelic energies will assist you, but remember, keep your heart in the light. Send love to them. Ask for a positive timeline to assist you to go into a positive timeline where this dark energy does not exist. All can be healed. Even if they do not, the dark energies wish not to be healed, they will be healed. But you have to want to escape it. Just having that intention out, just have the intention to heal, to have a more positive timeline of existence. You will reach that if you want it. You must want it. Wanting it will bring it in eventually. Yes, it is a test. And the reptilian energies will consume you. They will continue to do so. Understand, as I said before, this isn't always reptilian negativity, but it is quite common here in the most toxic. And not always, but much of the problem of your world, not all, but most, their influence is dying out. I can tell you that. Slowly. But the negative reptilian influence on your world is slowly slipping. And eventually it will be an avalanche of where they will lose control of this world. This is one of the signs of that. There are many others, but this is one of them for us to tell you. Sometimes we do not tell you, you just know it. This is an embarking on a new journey, such as your Columbus. That is not a good example, but a Columbus, like finding a new world. You are finding a new world. You are creating a new world where reptilians no longer, negative ones, no longer possess this planet, where you call this home, where you, humans, make the rules instead of having them tell you what the rules are. It is time for you to take control over your planet. And it is coming. It takes time. The hold they have on this world is very complicated, but incomplete. You can uncomplicate it and complete it with yourself, with your energies. Even if human here, positive or dark, whatever you choose, you're not being judged. At least this world will finally be in your hands instead of someone else's. Instead of no more secrets, no more shadow elites, no more shadow anything. Everything comes out in the open. That's how you heal your planet. We see this for you. It takes time to make this happen, but it will. But first, you have to fight the illness to bring in the cure. And the illness is domestic abuse, domestic violence. You understand that. The hostility towards children. The healing has been going on for some time. But the violent world you live in can be a more peaceful place. But as I said, you must know where the illness is to bring the cure. You are the cure. The cure is light, is of angelic, positive energies. But obviously, you're always going to have dark here. That's always going to be the case. But it's up to you. What do you choose? What do you want? Do you want to be ill forever? Or do you want to be healed? We're giving you that choice. Do as you wish, but for you and humanity on this world, you all deserve to know everything about your world. Everything. Instead of the secrets that are held back from you. It is time for you to know you, your world, where humanity is taken care of, fed properly, and can ascend into a world of your full potential. Instead of being descending, as many of you feel, you can ascend where you feel you rightly belong, instead of in a world of toxic ideas, entertainment that keeps you from yourself, keeps you, what is that word they use on your world, where they keep you disorganized, disconnected. It's time to connect yourself to yourself and everything. We send you all love and joy and light. Blessings to you, and this is Yeshua. Take care. Know thyself. If you want to know yourself, you will. If you want to know about your world, you will. Do not let these negative entities, however they are, do not let them deter you, stop you from finding yourself. Yes, they are battling. You will see them more movement from them, but that is fine. This is how you grow. This is how you move into a positive light. As they get angry, you know you're going in the right direction, now don't you? It is time for you to know thyself. Blessings to you. I am Yeshua. Much love, everyone. Thank you. See you soon. Blessings.